Got it. Everybody's got to say got it.
Got it. And all right, we are live.
All right. Welcome everyone to the Good Medicine Way, coming to you live, the Zoom and Facebook Live here from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're up here. Most people don't know it, but the city of Albuquerque is higher than Denver. Yeah, we beat them by a couple 100 feet. So we're a mile high, but we don't get the claim for it. Maybe we need a stadium, big stadium. And we can name it after that. But good to have you all with us, and glad you're joining us so well, faithfully. A lot of you just keep coming regularly. There must be something about it. One thing about it is that we want interaction, don't we? We just want the interaction. If we can't touch and feel, we can all see each other's faces and interact a little bit with everyone. So just glad you're with us. We're here in the land of the Pueblo people, just west of the Sandia Mountains. So we give our recognition to the Pueblo people in their land here. I wanted to bring up something, and you can chime in on this too. This is kind of let's do this as a group, because Good Medicine Way, that's what our name is. But then I found this, I'll show you. You probably can't read it, but it says a different thing. It says exercise is medicine. And I'll go through, and then when I get done here, add in something else that you think is medicine. Because I was going through and I got a list of different ones I'd like to share too. But it says medicine doesn't always come in a bottle or a tablet. Exercise is medicine. Fasting is medicine. Nature is medicine. Laughter is medicine. Vegetables are medicine. Sleep is medicine. Sunlight is medicine. Gratitude and love are medicine. Friends are medicine. Meditation is medicine. Okay, and then you can come up with something. I was thinking, good relations is medicine. Just popcorn it. Anybody who has one, go ahead.
This might go under nature, but I would say pets are medicine.
Yeah.
Oh, good thing you brought that up, because my creation insight is going to be about pets.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. I'd say music is medicine.
Yes, music. Yes. Yes.
And dancing is medicine. Would probably go
Hey,
with that.
I don't think we'll probably have to have a whole show on this, right? We keep going here.
I think good food could be medicine too.
Good food, yes. And
Swimming in water is medicine.
yeah, taking a nap is good medicine. I'm a good one for that. Come about 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm ready for some medicine. I take a nap.
How about chocolate?
Oh man, I had that today too. I got a chocolate heart from a special person today, and man, I'm glad it only has 5 pieces in it though, because if I got a box of chocolates, I'd be like Forrest Gump. You never know what you're going to get. Anyone else?
Silence is medicine.
Yeah, that kind of goes with meditation. It's kind of like sometimes you just need to have some quiet time when life gets so busy. Yeah. Okay. Debbie, did you hear what we're talking about? Oh, you're on mute. We're saying come up with something that you can consider medicine. Walking the dog this evening was medicine for me. I think one good thing of medicine, I walk my dog in the morning just before sunrise. And we go out here on the desert, we're just off of Mesa. And when the sun comes up, and it just comes over the Sandia Mountains. soon as it breaks and it shines on us, I carry tobacco with me. And then my dog and I, we face the directions, and just you can start to feel the heat already as the sun hits your face. And I take a little bit of tobacco and I pray for you guys, and I pray for many other things, just randomly, fast as my mind could think. I go through and I line them all up and I pray for many different things. And then I hold that tobacco in my hand and I hold it up with my hand and facing so that it blocks the sun just then. And then I sprinkle that onto the ground, and that's good medicine. Okay. Well, that's my prayer time for today. And so I want to share, I was talking about how my pets are medicine. I'm going to try to share this picture. Should send it to Brian so he can put it on. But the other day here, my daughter has a pet rabbit that we've been caring for a long time. And it started off, it was no bigger than my fist. And the cage, I had to put an extra lining on it because it was so small, it would get right run through the gate. It was so small, nothing would keep it in. But now he's big and fat. He's so fluffy and cuddly. He just loves to be with you. Last night, my daughter was holding him, and he just stayed right there on her chest, and so warm and cuddly. And then my dog got into the act too, and he's kind of frisky. He likes his space. The bunny and he, it's kind of a picture of the lion will lay down with the lamb kind of image. And here, this was last night when they were, see them in front of our TV. The bunny's cuddling up right next to the dog. And the dog is just kind of just really loving it. And it just really makes me want to know and be around you all more. So when we get together, we can rub shoulders and we can give hugs and high fives and have dinner together and coffee together and all these things. And all those things are coming our way in the future here. But my dog is my partner now, and he's good medicine for me now. He keeps me healthy by going for a walk in the morning and in the evening. Sometimes we go for a jog. So that's really good. Hey, there's another one. Jogging is medicine. Some of you wouldn't think so, though, right? No. Biking is medicine. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to share that with you, and let's turn it over to who's next here. We're going to, okay, Leah.
All right, it's time for the This Week in Native America segment, and we're going to talk about a lovely lady from Alaska, a native lady. She's from the Tlingit tribe, and Elizabeth Peradovich. She was the one responsible for getting the first anti-discrimination laws passed in the U.S. territories or states. It was February 16th, 1945, and as it's Valentine's Day today, and her day is actually, on Wednesday, on the 16th, it makes me think, well, what is the connection between love and working for civil rights? And as I'm looking at the love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13 from the First Nations version, of course we know love is patient and kind, but also love does not care only about itself. Love is not happy with lies and injustice, but truth makes its heart glad. Love keeps walking even when carrying a heavy load. Love keeps trusting, never loses hope, and stands firm in hard times. The road of love has no end. So love is important when working for civil rights. And now a couple songs.
Feel free to sing along at home or dance
Yeah,
or whatever
get that medicine.
makes it work for you.
There's a river of life that's flowing from this road. A river of life that's flowing from this road. So you come on in and see. This river will set you free. Way-ah-hey-ah, way-ah-hey-ah, way. Oh wee oh hey, oh wee oh hey, oh wee oh hey, oh hey, ah yo. Oh wee oh hey, oh hey, oh wee oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, ah. Hi oh, hi oh, hi oh, hi oh.
Well, it's announcements now with Heather. Jim, do we want to do that Terry Wildman one that you found though?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
A screen share here for this great InterVarsity Press announcement today. Some of you probably voted for this, and sure enough, the First Nations version is the Reader's Choice Award winner. Woohoo! So thanks to all who voted for that, and it's great to get exposure out there, and we gotta pray that they'll get enough paper freed up to print them. There's like thousands on back order because of the the whole supply thing with COVID and all that. So pray that those they get enough paper diverted their way. Take it away, Heather Jim.
Thanks, Leah. The first one, of course, is our offering. I believe it's on the Facebook page, the group page on top, and it'll be a PayPal link for you to go to. So very convenient. If you have trouble, just let one of us know. And the other one is the women's circle that we have on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And we're going through Jesus and John Wayne. It's a pretty interesting book. Does deal with a lot of heavy information, so just be prepared for that. And the third one is, well, if there's any more, you'll let me know. The last one that I have is actually with Eat Jesus, Eat Fried Bread, and that one is going to be, of course, over virtual, over Zoom, and I believe there might be streaming, but I'm not sure. But it's definitely happening online this Saturday from 6 to 8. So if you're free that Saturday, you're welcome to join. I believe the link that I posted through the Facebook is still good, and I can repost it here tonight. And yeah, and anyone else have anything else to announce?
Well, I think I could add, the NATE Symposium is going to take place this year. They're making plans to have it. It's going to be the first weekend in June. And if you can make it, you gotta drive a long ways or fly a long ways. It's going to be in Nova Scotia, and it's at the Acadia University. I'll be teaching a class there at the beginning of the symposium week. And this year we're going to try to do a sweat lodge for the group there. We've never done one all these 15, 18 years we've been doing it. So we're going to try to get a sweat lodge going, and some people experience that.
Thanks, Keithy.
All right.
Thank you, Heather. And I'm actually looking forward to that
with GCC private because I'm hearing there's two speakers. Very interesting. Today we're actually gonna read from the book of Luke, or the gospel, or the good news. Which one you want to go with. Shining Light tells a good story. Chapter 2, we're starting at verse 41. Coming of age. And if you have the paperback book, I know some of you love to follow along. It's on 107, page 107. Again, coming of age. By traditional law, it was a custom for all the families of the tribes of vessels with Creator, Israel, to journey to village of peace, Jerusalem, to participate in the ancient Passover festival. This festival celebrates the time when lawgiver draws from the water. Moses has set them free from captivity from the powerful nation, Black Land, Egypt. He did this by using the great power Creator gave him to perform many signs and wonders. When the Creator set free, Jesus was 12 winters old. His family traveled together to celebrate this traditional feast. When the festival was over, his parents began their journey home. Without telling their parents, Creator set free, Jesus stayed behind in village of peace, Jerusalem. They thought he was with the other relatives and friends traveling with them. After a long day's journey, they began to look for him, but were unable to find him. So they returned to village of peace to look for him there. After a search of 3 days, they found him at Creator's ceremonial lodge, where he was sitting with the elders, listening to them, asking questions. All who heard his answers were amazed at his wisdom and understanding of his spiritual ways. His parents were surprised at a loss for words, but his mother scolded him. Son, why have you treated us this way? Your father and I were worried, our hearts were heavy as we looked everywhere for you. Why were you looking everywhere for me? He asked. I thought you would know where to look for me here, in my father's lodge. Doing what he sent me to do. But they did not understand the meaning of what he was saying to them. He then returned to Sea Planter Village, Nazareth, with them, and continued to be respectful son following the guidance of his parents. But his mother hid those words in her heart. Creator sets free. As a young man, grew in wisdom and in strength, and respect in the eyes of the people in the Great Spirit. The words of the Lord. I guess we're going back to Casey.
All right. Yeah, good. We got that scripture. We wanted to start this time out. It's going to be kind of a give and take throughout. I'm going to lead this, but we're going to talk about, as you've seen on the title of this, is for Jesus's first laugh ceremony. And many of you probably don't understand that, or you imagine you know what it is, because most of you who had children, you just overjoyed when you heard your baby's first giggle, and it just blessed your heart so, and you just felt so good. So a couple of us are going to say some things about the first laugh ceremony. And Leah, what's the schedule on that for who's going to go tell what? There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So if Preston wants to introduce the overall concept, and then Heather Jim does the sweet and salty, and then Casey does generosity, and Darlene or Casey does humanity at the end.
Okay. again, like we were saying, back in I think if it was April or September, we celebrated the birth of Jesus. Which one? So this would be about 6 months or a couple of months after that, and we are celebrating the first laugh, which would happen with a baby. The first laugh in the native Navajo culture, in my culture, is a very, very big deal. When the baby is after the baby is born, people would try to either joke or it depends on the person too, because they either don't want to make the baby laugh or they do want to make the baby laugh, because if they do make the baby laugh, that person that caused that laughter has to put on a feast for the family, for the extended family and friends and of the child and the child of the family. So it's a huge celebration that comes with a giving ceremony. The giving allows a child to give away a couple of items. And two major items are something sweet and a little piece of salt. The little tiny piece of salt is like from a huge block of salt that from my family had, but then the baby has to literally someone's holding the little baby hands touch the salt, then it goes in the next person's hand, the receiver. And hopefully that has some things that we hope to teach the baby too. So that's a quick introduction of what's going on. Okay, Heather.
One thing too that Preston said yesterday too is if we had Jesus in our culture, he would definitely have a first laugh ceremony. And one of the things that we give out as the ne is, well, the first one definitely is the salt, rock salt. And the little baby has to put their hands in it and give it to each of the guests. And this is really significant of generosity too. And so, and not the funny thing, but the interesting thing about the rock salt is that it was very hard to come by if you had salt, like you were one of the rich Navajo people. So if you had rock salt at your baby's first laugh, like, okay, this this family went all out for the little baby. And that's what we do. And the something sweet, it was just like something introduced, and a lot of people don't really say much about it, but it's like candy or some type of soda or something that a little goodie bag that the baby can give away too. One of the stories that I was told from my niece was that, and it was her parents that made her laugh. So the person who made them laugh will be the one holding them and helping them give out the sweet and salty treats. And once they do that, it just helps with the baby. And for my niece, they told me that she didn't need help after the first one. They just guided her hands into the Navajo basket. She grabbed the rock salt. They helped her grab the rock salt, gave it to the first guest, and then grabbed a little baggie of sweets and gave it to the same guest. And then all of a sudden, she just went forward and picked up the next salt when the next person came and just started doing it herself. So I thought, oh wow, that was really cute.
Very cool. Well, Darlene, would you come on? Darlene Silversmith? I want to, because this is more of a Navajo tradition, I'd like you to share some of that, and then I'll share a little bit after you're done. Darlene Silversmith.
Okay. I had to call a friend to ask him. I've been at a few laughing celebrations, and but I really didn't know the meaning. But he told me he's a pastor, and he was brought up as a medicine man. But when he got a little older and adolescent, he became a minister, started going to church. But he was saying the baby is just a baby until the baby gives a really definite big belly laugh. I mean, they may smile and do this and that, but it's like their first really good laugh. And usually, like they said, caused by someone who made them laugh. So he was saying sometimes people always ask, has the baby laughed yet? So if you can't afford to give a feast, don't make the baby laugh, you know. And this is the baby then becomes like a person in terms of clan wise. They start calling him according to the clan now. Before they were just Sheaway. Now they're going to be Shiyaja, Shanale, you know, Shiche, whatever the clan, how they're related to the baby by clan. And it's just, and baby starts entering into what they call, where they start contributing to the community, in the family, and to the family. And it begins with the salt, giving of the salt from a wedding basket. And the wedding basket obviously signifies, is a symbol of life. And so this is where the baby starts becoming a person, where they start learning to share, how to become loving, how to be more hospitable, how to be more sociable. Baby starts adding to trying to make everybody's life better. Let's see. And it's kind of maybe the first rite of passage for the baby, for this person.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things afterwards is people make speeches. Of course, I think with Navajos, no matter what we do, we get together, we have speeches afterwards. But they're speeches of blessings, speeches of congratulations. And my friend said, since he's a minister, he usually, when he speaks, he talks on the fruit of the Spirit, found in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, where the 9 fruit of the spirits are what we try to adopt and gain through the Holy Spirit to make us more like Christ. I think that's all I can share at this point.
Thank you, Darlene. You know, she shared some of the things that I was going to share about generosity, but that's fine. I'd rather have it come from her. And I wanted to share because we have a cross-cultural marriage. People don't think sometimes that Native people can have cross-cultural marriages, but I'm from Michigan and my wife is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's 1,500 miles apart, and our cultures are very different. So when we had our children, to start off with, we wanted to have 8 children. We wanted to have a quiver full, I guess you could say, people say a quiver full. So 8 year-olds. We had four girls, and then the last child was a boy. There's so many different things I wanted to talk about, but I think I want to share with what Darlene said there about the first rite of passage. When a child is born, I'll try to say a few things that we've done with our children, because I wrote a book on rites of passage, and then in my book, Holy Smokes, I go through how so many things are ceremony, and we need to emphasize rites of passage with our children, and as they grow older too, recognizing these areas that they've transitioned from one to the other. When the children were born, I was a part of the birth of each of the children. I helped deliver. I caught the baby, first hands to touch the baby when it came into this world, and it was very powerful. It's so that first transition from the water world from mom to the outside world into my hands, and then me being able to blow the first breath of my breath onto the baby was a big transition for me, because I think some of you know psychology, this thing called imprinting, is that the children, I think there's a story about how, even a movie, how the geese clung to a young little girl, and then she was able to teach them how to fly north. Yeah, because it was imprinting. They followed the first, and they connected with that first person that they knew as a kind of a mother figure or a guidance figure. So being there with all of our babies, it was a very big transition for them, and then holding them and then caring for them. And each one of our children, we raised in a cradle board up until 9 months old. And during that time, they weren't in the cradle board all the time. We'd be playing with them on the bed or on a rug or in the living room floor, on the carpet, just having a good time. And now and then, each one of us, Laura and I, we were able to make the baby laugh. And then some of our relatives also made the baby laugh. And we'd be sitting next to each other there, and then we'd be playing, and then we go and we say, "Was that a laugh?" Like, "No, that was a burp, or that was gas or something like that." We'd say, "That wasn't a laugh. I don't think so. I think you'll know a laugh when you hear that first laugh." So when it did come along, and we hear that, a very special time that we had to recognize, because being an example to our children is a major thing. The children are a reflection of the parents, and how they act is how, basically what they're seeing at home and how they act. So when we live a life of generosity and caring and love, our children see that too, and they see God in us when we raise them too. So rites of passage are very, very important. In our meeting last night, when we were discussing what this topic would be today and how we would lead it, is that many people's cultures don't have many rites of passage. And I was listening and reading a book here just recently, is that one reason is that they don't have these rites of passage and these important transitions in life, is that they gave them up. Sometimes they gave up that life of their cultural world that they came from. Let's say like the cultural worlds of Europe. Many of them came over here, and they gave up their cultural worlds, become Americans. And in Americans, you talk English, and you don't talk your languages even anymore, and you leave all those traditions behind. But they're very important for our children. Some of the traditions that we can think of that are in the society is that, let's say for a boy, is that goes through puberty, gets his first whiskers, that kind of thing, does his first shave, gets a license. That's a rite of passage. Drives a car, goes on his first date, big rites of passage, graduate. But the rites of passage that my wife and I and our in our cultures are, they're more of an earthy, more of a human transition in life, kind of transition and rite of passage. So that the baby may laugh. And then a little bit later on, another rite of passage is when they take their first steps. We do another ceremony for taking their first steps. In my culture in Michigan, that babies cannot be carried on the powwow circle when when a mother's dancing or father's dancing. They have to be able to walk into the circle on their own, even if they, falter a little bit. They have to do their own steps. So that's something that a rite of passage. So when they take their first steps, that's a big thing. And then later on, we raised our kids in a cradle board, and I want to bring up one photo here. This is not our child, but it is an example of a cradle board. And the baby that's in there, the little story behind this is that about 3 months ago, I mailed a cradle board to a lady in Edmonton, Canada. And she's a doula. She helps women with, breastfeeding and birthing and all the things dealing with women. And she was really excited about it, really excited about getting the cradle board that I made and packaged it up and sent it to Canada. And I never have any problem sending things to Canada. I've sent, 50 things to gifts and cradle boards and other things that I make. And this one time, the cradle board went, and I got a note on the tracking. It said that it's undeliverable. And I go, what? I got an address, and the lady gave me the address, and I know she's there and everything. And I said it was undeliverable. And come to find out, when the UPS Canada, when something's undeliverable, they dispose of it. Yeah, they took that cradle board that I made this young lady, this new mom, and they disposed of it. And I just flabbergasted. So I talked to the UPS people, and they said, yes, when that happens, unless you pay an extra fee, then that fee will go towards sending it back to you. But already I'm trying to make a little money on it. I don't have an extra $50 to put my money in case it doesn't get there. So what happened is, I told the young lady, I said, don't fret, don't worry. We're going to get you a cradle board. Don't worry about the expense. I'm going to make another one for you, and I'm going to send it at my cost. And I want you to have it, because it's just not right for something like that to happen. And so we worked together, and we got a different address in the same neighborhood of somebody that I know, Karen Hoff. She had a relative there. She gave me that address, and I mailed it to that address. It arrived. I watched the tracking. It arrived, and it said that it had passed through customs. Took 2 weeks to go through from here to customs, and she got it. They met up and delivered it. And here's the picture of the little baby in the cradle board. It was a preemie. She was a couple weeks early, so she's really, really small. And so she could hardly wait to put the baby in the cradle board. And there's a feather on that picture, and it must have been on a shelf nearby. And when they sat there, that feather floated down and landed on that baby, just as you see it there, right in the middle, right by the feet. And they were just overly blessed by that. And she gave me a big thank you. And so that makes like I don't know, must be about 20 different cradle boards I have in Canada now, like this, from different mothers that have wanted one. But rites of passage are a big thing. So one of the big things of the cradle board is that sometime they're too big for it, and it's time to transition out of the cradle board. So then we do. And one of my daughters, Najoni, they all transitioned out, and they'd play, and they'd see it hanging up on the wall. And that's how we kept them after they were born. And then one day we were taking down and changing curtains or something. We put the cradle board on the floor, and she was crawling and walking, kind of transitioning there. And she crawled over to that cradle board that was laying on the floor, and she laid on it. It was a place of comfort and a place of growing. And we just looked at it, and tears come to our eyes, because it's like our babies grow up. They grow up, and they're still our babies, no how old they are. And we care for them, and we care for the good, the bad, and ugly that happens in our lives, and we just love them unconditionally. So transitions are very important. I could go on and on with all the rites of passage that we have. We have some that are for my son. My son is, if you've been following us a little bit, my son is the fastest native runner in the Southwest. He's got colleges looking at him now, and we're really excited about that. But we taught our children to be dancers, because Laura and I were both dancers. I'm a Northern traditional Eagle Bustle dancer, and she started off as a jingle dress dancer. And we raised them that way. And at one time we had a big ceremony in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, where we did a coming out ceremony. Because you just don't put on an outfit and you just walk into the circle and say, I'm a dancer now. Some people do, because they don't know the protocols. So when we were ready to become dancers, we asked one of our elders to bring us into the circle. We had to ask a drum group to sing a song for us. We had a big giveaway. It took over 2 hours for us to go through the ceremony of becoming dancers in the circle. Here's a picture. And then my son transitioned to an Eagle Bustle. And if you see that under, we're dancing at a Salvation Army sponsored program that was in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. But he has grown, and he's transitioned to Eagle Bustle, and now he's transitioning into manhood. In my Potawatomi traditions, young men go through 3 stages of becoming a man. And we have a ceremony for each one of those transitions. So though, that's just a few of them that we've gone through. One thing, because I'm a man, I don't talk about the puberty ceremonies, because there's a lot of traditions behind the puberty ceremony within the Navajos. It's called the Kenmata Ceremony. And when a young lady becomes a woman, then we go through that ceremony. And we just had one here just recently. My wife was asked to tie the hair. That's a big position to be asked to do for a young lady coming. And she tied the hair. So we had to be there at their place. We drop everything. We quit work, we call in sick, we do whatever we got to do. So we were at their house in Tohajale for 4 days, actually 5, because we had to get there early for all the preparation. And so many details or rites of passage. And those are important for the young lady. Nowadays, a young lady, when they have their change, some of them get scared. Some of them don't know what's happening to their bodies. And they learn off the street or from the school bus or in the schoolyard about that. But in the Native way, we honor that and respect that and help the young lady become a young lady. So I just wanted to go that little step further, that even though it's the first ceremony and rite of passage that Jesus went through, he went through many other stages of life. And then he did a rite of passage where he gave his life for us, died for our sins, and is now sitting with his Father in heaven. And he wants all of us to do our work. God wants all of us to do our work, to know that his son and what he did for all of us. So with that, I don't know if we want to have question and answer. I could probably go on and on about many things, but let's do a little. If you have a question, go ahead. And if not, we'll go right to this song. All right, turn it over to the Grovers.
And again, this is a round dance song. It's like a community dance. So we're making the tradition of having it be our closing song. So yes, please, in your own space there, sing, dance, and however way you feel like gives you connection with all of us and with Creator as we sing this song.
Yes, oh, got our own choir. Yes, oh, got our own choir. Yes, oh.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. We're getting the hang of that song. We're going to know it by heart now. So when we get out there, it'll be oh, I turn off my mic real quick. I had a big cough. So, well, thank you all for joining us again. We got some really decent speakers coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have our friend Gene Stevenson. I'm on his doctoral committee. He's been working on a contextual program that he's really excited about, and that's going really well. And then we're going to have Mark Charles in the future here. Mark Charles. If you don't know, he was an independent native running for president, and he did fair. We know he didn't win. We're not going to get into that. It was stole from him. Yeah, but Mark is going to be with us. He's not going to talk political. He's going to give us a message, a good message. He's a good preacher, and can't wait. I think the students are going to enjoy it. He's going to share some things about Jesus's life and how he related as a Jewish person to the world. And so that's really cool. I had a couple of conversations with him. Another person that's going to come on is a friend of ours, a professor at Acadia University in Nova Scotia, is Danny Zacharias. He's going to share with us. And I get to see him only a couple times a year, but he and his compadre here, Chris Hokotobi, they're working on, how is it? A native view of the translation of the Bible. So they're trying to put a book together. They had a research proposal that they're working on, and they're going to try to come out our way to talk to some of us to get that insight. So we're excited about those things. So thank you so much. I have another Zoom right after this one, and it's to talk with the church where we meet about the Easter weekend. If we can have a fire on the and in a safe store-bought fire pit, if we can have a fire on the property there during Good Friday, and then also on Easter Sunday. So if you know me, it's hard for me to say those two words. When Good Friday, Monday, Thursday, and Easter are some words we're trying to change some wording and make it less Christianese. I think is the word I want to say. We want to kind of break away from the pagan influence of the word Easter, and because little teaching here. I could ask any one of you, I'll give you a $50 bill if you can find me the word Easter in your Bible. And you can't, because it's not there. The only place you can find the word Easter is in a pagan ritual Bible. But we use it to commemorate the day that our Lord was resurrected from the dead and is now our Savior. And so it's just something, my little quirk there, that we want to call it Resurrection Sunday and celebrate it on that. So you're going to learn a little bit about me because some of you haven't even heard some of my classes or my lectures, and we'll take you another step. Some of you, I'll step on a lot of toes. I can get a lot of feedback, but I do teach a class on this at the seminary level, master's and doctorate level. And so it's pretty straightforward. It's just some things that we haven't heard and we've taken for granted in our Christian walk that hasn't been very helpful in reaching Native American people. So that's why we feel that we need to make some really good changes in terminology and expression and the way that we do this service, that Good Medicine way. So with that, I want to close with just thanking Jesus for his so many good things, so many blessings that we have to be thankful for, because believing in Jesus is good medicine. And just like I started us off, Jesus is good medicine. So with that, I love you all and have a great Valentine's Day. And can everybody do this? Here we go. Let's get a screenshot. Everybody loves everybody. Who's got that? Hey, Brian, you got that? Get us a screenshot. Hey, everybody hold, smile. Got it? All right, everybody, that'll be a keeper. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.